in royalty and reshape this land which is mine. I do this for you, Red Legions, for I love you. I love, even as man, great Talos cherished us. For he saw in us, in each of us, the future of Skyrim, the future of Tamriel. And there it is, friends.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if there's going to be any news Monday. It seems like kind of a light news day. I'm going to make fun of the Emmys cringe, but what else could put... What? Xbox buys Bethesda? What will this mean? Well, a lot, I think. But don't freak out. Don't freak out, gamers. I see this as a win for everybody, okay? Not just Xbox fanboys who are taking this dub, but for PC gamers, actually, they win the most, but also PlayStation gamers, because it's going to force PlayStation to respond. It's going to force PlayStation, and maybe they already have and they just haven't announced anything yet, but let's get into the story. But before we do, just a quick reminder, about 40% of my viewers aren't subscribed, and a ton of you are probably new on this video. I cover 3 to 5 topics a day, not just video games, but movies, entertainment news, technology news, censorship news, YouTube news, everything you could possibly be interested in. I hope that today will be the day you click that red subscribe button right below the video. It helps the channel out a ton, and it makes finding my videos a lot easier for you. Early this morning, just a day before the Xbox pre-orders began, they announced that they would be purchasing Bethesda. That's not like, you know, like a game or there'd be a game available. No. That is Dishonored, Wolfenstein, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Starfield, The Evil Within, Prey. All these franchises, all right, are now owned by Xbox. Does that mean they're going to be exclusive to Xbox? We'll talk about that in a minute. But this isn't really an unprecedented thing. I mean, PlayStation has what? Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, Ben, Sucker Punch, Media Molecule. PlayStation has a lot of their own in-house developers too. But here's where the huge value comes in for not just Xbox gamers, but PC gamers. But I do think, hang on, PlayStation 5 fans, I've got a lot of good news for you too. According to Xbox, some if not all of the games will be available on Game Pass almost immediately. You see, they didn't announce this part on Xboxes that I saw, but their UK account said, so first, Xbox announced, today is a special day. We are thrilled to welcome the talented teams and beloved game franchises of Bethesda to Team Xbox. But then Xbox UK retweets that and says, yes, this means we will be adding Bethesda's iconic franchises to the Xbox Game Pass for console and PC. Which means, look, there's a lot of people, myself included, that just haven't played some of these games, you know, or you know, you have a backlog, and now you're going to be able to pick them up essentially for no additional charge if you're already paying for Game Pass. So whenever you feel like it, you can say, oh, I've never played the Elder Scrolls. I'm going to pop in on that. Oh, I want to play that cringeworthy last Wolfenstein game that was absolute trash, but I don't want to pay $30 for it. Okay, I'll install it and play it for a weekend and move on with my life. Ultimately, I would say this is being received positively. You see a lot of the people, so you've got obviously Bethesda Studios, ZeniMax, Arcane Studios, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, and Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Studios. People, of course, wanting that crossover between Halo and Doom. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to see quite... I think this looks more like the Mojang acquisition than it does like Sucker Punch, where they're going to have an entire console exclusive. There is, look, I don't know. I can't be responsible for terrible business decisions, but I would be willing to bet that there is as close to a 0% chance as reasonable that any of these titles will become Xbox exclusives. You make way more money selling software than you do selling consoles, which is why you have console exclusives. Microsoft paid $7.5 billion to acquire Bethesda Softworks. $7.5 billion. Game Pass currently has 15 million subscribers and growing. Microsoft now boasts 23 studios. And Bethesda's future games will be on Game Pass on launch day. On launch will be on Game Pass. That is a big PP move. Big. More than 3 billion people on the planet play video games. As the gaming industry transforms from a device-centric era to a player-centric era, powered by new technology, I want to get to the Game Passing because that's really the only thing that matters to me. I see this put out, but I'm looking for it to see. Okay. Yeah, 15 million subscribers. With the addition of Bethesda, Microsoft will grow from 15 to 23 creative studio teams and will be adding Bethesda's iconic franchises to Game Pass. This includes Microsoft's intent to bring Bethesda's future games to Game Pass on the same day that they launch on Xbox or PC. Like Starfield, the highly anticipated new space epic currently in development by Bethesda Games on launch day. That is a huge. It's going to be huge for PC gamers. First and foremost, I think PC gamers get the dub here because they'll be able to use Game Pass and play these games on day one. But I think it's going to force PlayStation's hand to provide more value. Listen, PlayStation, I'm still on Team PlayStation. Why? Because Game Pass, while I admit is insane value for almost anybody, I only have a limited amount of time to play video games because I work full time and I operate 2 YouTube channels. So it's like, if I get a game, I'm buying one game and it's going to take me 3 months to finish it. I may play some time wasters here or there on stream, but the days of me having like 2 or 3 games going at the same time just doesn't happen really for me anymore. So I understand I am an outlier here, and still, Final Fantasy, I have to have it. I have to have it, but it's not going to be out for another 1.5 years. Deathloop. Now the question is, what's going to happen with some of the exclusives that were already planned? There's 2 that I know of. There's of course, Deathloop. I think that's Arcane Studios, I think. And then Ghostwire Tokyo. These were console exclusive to the PlayStation 5. I don't know if that's going to change on launch or not. It seems like these contracts would probably already have been signed. So it seems like maybe it's going to stay in place that way because really nothing's going to change till like 2021, according to the deal. Some of the acquisitions that Microsoft has made: LinkedIn, $26.2 billion, Skype, $8.5 billion, ZeniMax, $7.5 billion, GitHub, $7.5 billion, Nokia, $7.2 billion. I mean, Mojang, $2.5 billion. And a lot of people have said, well, they ended all these companies except for Minecraft, and that was saved by PewDiePie. That's not exactly true. Minecraft was doing just fine. PewDiePie did absolutely help popularize it. But now the question is, what is PlayStation going to do? What is PlayStation going to do? Everybody's pushing right now for Sony just to buy Konami. I don't know that that's, first of all, going to happen. But you'd have, obviously, some epic franchises, Castlevania, Silent Hill. You'd have all sorts of stuff. But is it good for all of these studios to get bought up by hardware manufacturers? I don't think that in general for everybody it's the best, because if we start having kind of an exclusives battle, that's going to hurt the consumer. That is a potential negative outcome of this. If you start having this exclusive war between Microsoft and PlayStation, people are going to miss out on great games. Now, like I said, the business sense means that you want to sell your software to as many people as possible. I mean, Minecraft isn't an Xbox exclusive, but you just never know, and it's something you've got to watch out for. Will PlayStation respond? I suspect they have already responded in some way, shape, or form, but maybe not announced it. They have some pretty big console exclusives. Obviously, The Last of Us sells millions of copies. You had Sucker Punch Studios, Ghost of Tsushima. You've got a lot of games that are exclusive. Obviously, Final Fantasy. These are console sellers, I think. Final Fantasy is, at least for me. But what this is I think this is just great news for all gamers, because the more competition that happens among the console creators, the better product in theory that the consumer will get. At minimum, I think this means that Sony has to beef up their offering on PlayStation Plus, because Game Pass is absolutely stacked now. Maybe they lower their price, maybe they make it free, I don't know. I still think it's going to come down to the games that are involved in the program. So they're going to have to figure out a way to add more value. Right now, I think we can all agree, Todd Howard, probably shaking in his boots right now. I'm not sure. But this is big news for the gaming industry, especially 24 hours before pre-orders. I think, here's my prediction. Sony will answer back, but they have like 12 hours to do it. What that looks like, I'm not sure yet. But what I can say is, in the short term, this is going to spike Xbox pre-orders. Right or wrong, okay? Right or wrong, this will spike Xbox pre-orders, because the presumption, because people will just hear Bethesda, people will think it's going to be console exclusives. If Microsoft does anything, it'll be a timed exclusive. I'm fairly certain. You're still better off selling 15 million copies of something as opposed to 7 million copies of something. Or, 30 million copies for, yeah, Last of Us sold, 12, 13 million copies, but if it was available on Xbox, that number would have been, 15, 18, 20 million. So I think console exclusives, they make sense if you're the only game in town, but you want to sell your game. So it's going to be interesting to watch how all this shakes out. Everybody remain calm. Remain calm. Sony probably will reply. If not, this is just great news for gamers, I think, especially PC gamers. I'll be interested in hearing what your comments are in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.